Uncover Harry's final lie and the contagious Queen's heart. These words once again hurt him badly. Hello and welcome to the Princess Diana News YouTube channel. With Harry and Meghan releasing their new documentary Heart, Harry's complaints no longer seem valid, and we'll never forget what the late Queen said about Harry's little grievances. Memories may vary, and now the focus is on his latest statement to Netflix. First, Harry says that when he suffered from SPT after the war, there was no support and no one to help him. I had no support structure, no network, no expert advice to determine what was really going on with me. Well, reality tells a different story. In 2017, Harry said in an interview that his brother helped him after their mother died. She told The Telegraph's Brian Gordon on the Mad World podcast that Prince William invited her to the treatment. Harry said, "For me personally, my brother, bless him. He was a great support for me. He kept saying, 'This is not true. It's not normal. You have to talk to someone about certain things. This is normal for Harry.'" He also spoke about his former personal secretary. Jem was a no-nonsense officer who helped build a second Afghanistan, and Harry said he trusted him from the start, and talked about another secretary, Fox, who according to Harry used to be his household cavalry, the captain. A knack for seeing to the heart of things. Sources claim that this proved that Harry had been surrounded by people who had the right experience and they tried their best to help him. Harry also claimed that the UK media ignored stories of our British soldiers who were wounded in Afghanistan, discussing seeing injured soldiers in 2008. Harry said, "I was angry that the media weren't covering it all right. Well, let's get the facts straight. Casualties of British servicemen in Afghanistan were widely reported and made headlines. The reports were compiled from official statements issued by the Ministry of Defence and include photos and tributes of the commanders so far. The BBC website still lists the 136 British servicemen who died there. In fact, many war correspondents were as close to the action as Harry, if not closer, and had to pay with their lives for it. According to the Committee to Protect Journalists, 79 people were killed while reporting on events in Afghanistan and 2 or more were seriously injured. Harry also complained that the media had ruined his trip to Afghanistan. Well, that's nonsense. In fact, the British media carefully kept 2008 a secret. Its coverage is augmented by global exclusive coverage of Hero Harry, as well as coverage by Australian women's magazines. New idea. Harry told the producers and Netflix that he was very angry because after it was revealed that he had to be evacuated for his safety and that of the other soldiers. Well, I wonder if Harry thought about that. Maybe the soldiers were angry at him because he was talking about how many people he had killed or about Harry's family. He thinks, maybe they were mad at him for accusing them of something that wasn't true. It happens when you lie too much and forget what you said, and there is always someone who remembers it better than you. Usually you get caught up in your own life. Sadly, Harry went above and beyond, saying he pays tribute to all the wounded fighters who struggle with their bodies and minds every moment. Harry, please grow up a bit and show some respect. Surely the late Queen said it best, right? Well, Harry's memories depend on who is asking how much money. Millions of people lost their mothers. You know, a good friend of mine actually lost her mother when she was young, and she didn't act like that. He did not let this become an excuse for any bad behavior. Diana would hate it if she saw Harry today. I mean, his late mother knows all his problems. He should look closer to home. In fact, he should look directly into the mirror. We're getting closer to the days of his mother and grandmother's death, but Harry only knows how to talk about himself. Harry isn't the only one who lost his parents at a young age, but you know what most people go through in their lives. Harry seemed to be waiting for the others to collect all the pieces. Others will find solutions to all his problems. No wand. Much depends on your own thoughts and actions. It's important not to live in the past and think about things differently. Just think of how many parents have lost children. I mean, they have to go through it, but they may not have access to treatment, mostly because they may have to pay for it. Harry acts like a complete fool at times. Why doesn't he ever talk about William's grief over the loss of his mother? 26 years later, Harry has capitalized on his mother's death to make millions. So who are his two children? If they really want to recall their childhood, they are completely cut off from the two families, like a pair of orphans. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. What happened to him? That is, someone seemed to walk into his life and all the honest people around him. Her support network that we had talked about before was suddenly completely forgotten. I think that if Harry had looked at his book, interviews and other material with a logical mind, he might have realized that he was being pushed to forget the truth. However, it is sad to see him like this. His death was earlier and his family saw it. And now nothing seems to have registered. Of course, there are many people who know the truth about conversations between people, but I can't believe what Harry says. He always contradicts himself. His truth seemed to fit his mood at the time, while casualty support for military members can be, and has been, volatile. However, trauma risk management, known as trimming, was used in the British Army before and during the war in Afghanistan. But it may not help Harry because it requires a certain commitment. I can't believe Harry wasn't involved in the process. At least he was offered to participate, and I can't believe that Harry wasn't offered constitutional and personal support after his return from the family medical team and some of his close relatives and friends. Look, I don't think Harry is always grounded in reality. It's always a victim, it's all against me, it's always been like that. Nothing good happens to me. I know people like that and they seem to have a really sick view of the world. They always forget the positive things that actually happen to them, they always have negative things too soon, they love to moan. They love to complain about their lack of inner self, they ignore the positives and only want to focus on the negatives, even the perceived negatives that are not real. If these kids were real, they'd find out about it all, and discover what kind of life they would have had if their parents weren't so crazy. My other question is, do you guys really believe that Harry himself came up with the idea of playing games for his friends? I couldn't believe it for a second. That I think the company has to find something to occupy it. Give him something to do and make him feel responsible for the game. I just don't see him being genuinely interested. It seems like most of it shows up and that's it. There is indeed a lot of negative press about competitors. This shouldn't be his chance to complain and blame, and now it looks like he's really trying to outdo his good job. Whoever made this documentary should be talking about the game, not Harry's memory. This has nothing to do with him. Harry was not hurt. He is unparalleled protection. Harry should be ashamed of himself. Harry, it's not all up to you. Your truth has changed again since the 2017 edition. Many lost their parents at an early age, and most received no help. But you know, everyone has to deal with life. And you. What do you think of Harry? Please let me know what you think in the comments below. If you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like it and share it with your friends and relatives who like it. And please subscribe to the Princess Diana News channel for more updates in the future. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye. We will see each other again in the next videos.